Who will come out on top at the end of this one? It will be a mere 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes as we find out. The green flag waves at the back of the grid. The lights will come on and hopefully we'll be cleanly away today. The revs are up and off we go again here in the Red Bull MotoGP's Rookies Cup. It's Daniel Holgado who's got a good start alongside David Alonso. Will he get the whole shot once again into turn one, because he had a superb race leading the way yesterday? I think that's Ortula into third place, overtaking Diogo Moreira, all cleanly through. But what about into turn two? Some plenty daring overtaking moves going on there, but seemingly all cleanly through there or thereabouts as someone takes a motocross trip through the gravel, but fortunately kept it rubber side down.
Yeah, not quite sure who that was. We'll see when they come through the first split and it pops up on our timing screens. But yeah, a fantastic start again from Ortola to get his way from P6 straight into P3, and once again it's Daniel Holgado who takes the whole shot. A little bit close to David Alonso, the pole sitter, going to turn one, but all is fair and clean.
I think David Alonso got a little bit distracted yesterday by the jump start. He did, at least on the first exit that we had. As the lights actually went out, he started looking beside him, asking, should we go, do we? So well, I think that sort of impacted his start for the second time around as well, but no such problems there today. We're on board with him now, looking back at his fellow South American, the number 92, Diogo Moreira. He was keeping a close eye on proceedings in the Grand Prix classes today. Clearly a huge fan. And look at that, the number 95 of Colin Vire just in the background there, touching, I think it was Ivan Ortula, or was it not? But look at that, David Munoz, yesterday's race winner, up the inside there at turn 9.
Yeah, just getting confirmation with no jump start, so that's great to see. No repeat of yesterday's action, thankfully, so all clean away from the start line as we come towards the end of the first lap. Daniel Holgado leads them into the final corner. I'm just trying to look who ran wide at turn. I still can't see from the timing screens, but we're going to see a move from Diogo Moreira up the inside of David Alonso as we finish lap 1.
How about that then? Good stuff from Diogo Moreira, the rookie, showing no such, well, sensations as he's coming through the final turn. Across the line they come for the first time of asking. It's Daniel Holgado leading the way, as he did many a times yesterday. But look at that, David Munoz up the inside of David Alonso there into third spot. He absolutely takes no prisoners. He's sending it up the inside. And who's that? Number 23, Alex Mian, I think it was, going up the inside. Good move from him down into turn 2. We're looking at Mario Aggi, the number 34, at the back of this group. That means then we've got a leading group, Elliot, of 12 riders.
Absolutely sensational. Colin Vire's up 3 places from his starting position. On the left-hand side, you can see there, so is Matteo Bertelli. Ogden has made up 4 places into the top 10. And yeah, like you say, Matt, we've got a lead group of 12 riders, so it's getting tasty already. Slipstream
City as they come on the run down towards turn 6. Holgado from Moreira, from Alonso, but for how long? They're 3 abreast, or maybe not. It's Alonso up the inside of Moreira. He hugs him very tight. He leans on his knee and sends him very wide, but not exceeding track limits, I might add. That was a superb move and a defence, I should say, from Moreira. Oh, what a shame! The person who started in 4th place on the grid, Filippo Farioli, the Italian, has gone down at turn 3. That is an odd place. You don't normally see riders go down there, Elliot.
No, definitely not in the lightweight class, that's for sure. So we didn't see it on screens. I'm sure we'll get a replay at some point, but good to see Farioli is up and okay. He's trying to restart the bike, but yeah, pretty much race over, unfortunately, for the young Italian.
I think, well, he's got a lot of food for thought coming away from this one. He finished outside of the points yesterday in 16th from starting that starting position, 4th on the grid, but he can take some positives with that sensational qualifying session that he had. But as we turn our attention back towards the action at the front, it's Munoz moving up the inside once again of David Alonso, but still no one really showing a wheel too much to Holgado, your leader. He did this quite a lot yesterday, Elliot. He led for most of the race rather superbly, but only came across in the closing stages.
I felt a bit sorry for him at the end of yesterday as David Alonso goes 2 in 1.
Wow, I said that they weren't showing a wheel,
through.
but then 2 of them do at once. Ha, how about that? And now a 3rd one as well with Diogo Moreira up the inside, but for how long? Will he chop his nose off to come in towards turn 3? Yes, he does. Superbly done from the rookie.
Oh, sensational stuff from these two then. David Alonso, what a move into turn one that was.
Yeah,
and Alonso,
brilliant.
David Munoz behind, so I said thank you very much. I'll be taking that gap as well, and moves into second place.
Oh, what a chancer, like the proverbial vulture, taking the scraps there from David Alonso's overtake, but he does send himself way wide coming out of the Cito Ponds curb there. So a bit too much happy gas going on there with too much of a throttle as he loses much of the drive down into turn 6 again. Oh, we got a big crash in the background. 3 riders down. Who is that? I think one of them could be Ortola, and one of them was the 95 of Colin Vire. What a disaster. We see names going down. It's Vire, Uriarte and Ortola who have gone down. What a shame that was. So that has dwindled our leading group from 12 down to 9.
Turn 6, Matt, we said there'd be drama there, and it's not taken as long to see drama there. Thankfully, I think they all looked okay, so fingers crossed for those 3 riders. But yeah, what a shame to see them hit the dirt. Ortola's walking away, thankfully.
He cuts a very lanky figure, even taller than most of the marshals there. Here's a replay of what happened. We're going to look at it in super slow-mo. Ortola up the inside there. Gives the others a bit of a squeeze. Oh, dearie me. So just a bit of a case of, well, when there's only one line, 3 riders, you try and fit them into it. It's not really going to work, is it? Oh, dearie me.
Tell you what, Colin Vire did his absolute best to try and stay on that motorcycle. He hung on as long as possible, but wasn't quite able to hold on to it.
Well then, that's a shame for those guys, but this is only race 4 of 2021. There's still plenty of homework to be done after that. And look at that, is that then the number 80 going up the inside of Alex Millan? I think it is. Alonso reclaims that 4th place from him. Here's Colin Vire, the Dutchman, coming back into pit lane. His race is over, sadly, but there we get another chance out at race 5 in Mugello. See a bit of track limits going on there. We've got Diogo Moreira back in the lead again then, and this was the scene of the crime for David Alonso last time around. David Alonso a bit too happy on the throttle coming out the Cito Ponds corner. Look at that then, Elliot. Scott Ogden, number 19, on the back of this group with Mario Aggi.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Aggi is junior talent team. Ogden was junior talent team last year. He's now with the Aspar junior ranks. And yeah, good to see Ogden latched onto the back of the group. There he is, just at the back of your picture with the yellow helmet with the Union Jack in the middle. So he's having a little bit of a better race than we saw yesterday. Incident involving the 3 riders we've seen to be reviewed. I think it's probably going to go down as a racing incident, don't you, Matt?
Yeah, I would be surprised if it didn't, but there we go then. Race direction, well, their word is final, and then we'll wait for that at the end of the race. I'll probably hear more about that in time for the 5th race of the season. But as we switch our attention back, we're at lap 4 of 16. Diogo Moreira still in the commanding position at the head of the field, and Alex Millan, the number 23, he didn't really feature much yesterday. Ended up finishing in 9th position at the back of the leading group, but he's looking up for the victory and at the podium fight here today. He moves up the inside of Daniel Holgado that time around. Very cleanly done, no paint swapping, no elbow barging, even on the exit. But as they come around once again to begin lap 5, it will be Diogo Moreira from David Munoz, Alex Millan and Daniel Holgado neck and neck, and David Alonso just behind them, and Bertelli, the number 28 Italian, just behind them as well.
Yeah, I'll return to the point we were trying to make before about Diogo Moreira. I did feel sorry for him yesterday because he was, like he's doing now, he was leading the race from the front pretty much for, I'd say, at least 3/4, and then just got shuffled back in the last laps. A bit of contact at the end, then he eventually fell to 4th, so he's looking to make amends here today.
Yeah, one name we not mentioned either is the number 7 of Daniel Munoz, no relation to David. He's up there into 7th place. This is your leading group, all the way down to Ogden. You can see it on the timings, on the timing tower, as Ogden was nearly sent himself out of that leading group. And my apologies, I think we've actually got Noah Detweiler. It's a leading group of 10 riders. He's just off the back of this group, but with that slipstream effect, he could well take it. 4 abreast into turn 6. David Alonso up the inside of Holgado. He now takes that 2nd place, but Moreira still doing very well out front there. It's like he's led many a rookie's races. He's only in his 4th.
Yeah, he's looking really experienced, isn't he? Like we mentioned yesterday, Matt, he's been in the Junior World Championship for last year and, of course, this year as well. He's experienced enough on a Moto3 bike to obviously know what he's doing. All of these guys know what they're doing.
Who's that going up the inside? That was Alonso giving way to David Munoz there up into turn 9. Very cleanly done.
Yeah, that's the overtaking spot that we pointed out as well, Matt. And we're going to see plenty more action there at turn 9 as we look back at Daniel Holgado.
Yeah, so there you have it on the timing tower to left of your screens. Detweiler is the last rider in this leading group. Then 3.4 seconds back is Tachikon Boisri. And look at that, that's a scary sight, isn't it? Looking at the beautiful onboard camera shots we have here as you come under braking off on the back of Diogo Moreira, I think that was. You just see all the other riders closing in. Start the Jaws music. Alex Mian waving to Patelli saying, get behind me, let's go and chase these guys. I don't think he's going to listen to you, young man. As David Alonso now moves up the inside at turn 1 into second place. But for how long? Because Munoz says, nah, I really want that place back, thanks. He doesn't need a second invitation. Through he goes once again, the Spaniard.
Yeah, we see that a lot, don't we? They always just tap the back of their bikes and say, stick behind me, mate, I'm going to drag you towards the front of the group. But these are young athletes at the end of the day, and I don't think they're going to listen to one another in the heat of the battle. Absolutely
not. Look at that then. What a move up the inside then. It's the Cito Pons curve for David Alonso. What a leading group we have here. Just superb action once again. 10 laps still left of this breathless Red Bull Rookies race, and they are hugging the green curbs on the inside of the straight there. But oh my goodness me, it just gets too tense sometimes to really cope with for me commentators. How many riders do you want to fit onto one line? Shout out to number 7, Daniel Munoz. This is a much improved performance from him today, though he wasn't exactly too far away yesterday at the beginning of the race at least. I'm looking down the screens on the results to find out where he was. Danny Munoz, well, he was at about 6th place in the end, so apologies for that. Got that completely wrong. Never mind, moving on very swiftly. Someone got nerfed wide a fair bit there on the as they switch towards turn 10. But as we look down the timing screen, shout out to Patelli, Aggi, Ogden and Detweiler, because those guys did not feature in the leading group all that much yesterday, though they weren't too far off it. They've clearly done their homework overnight and made substantial improvements for races today.
Yeah, that's the positive thing about having 2 races in one weekend, Matt, especially for the guys who need to make improvements in the second race, that have gone back, assuming they'd have watched the race, that have obviously spoke to the guys they need to speak to, made improvements, and obviously the guys like Ogden and Detweiler, who weren't quite on in the leading group yesterday, have made those improvements, as we see about 3 abreast to turn 1.
Patelli at the inside of Aggi, but not quite. Aggi runs it a little bit wide there from turn 1 now into turn 2. A little bit of breathing space between Moreira in second place and Munoz in 3rd then, but just a single bike length would not be enough for those. It's now Holgado back on the lead. Won't be enough for them to escape down the start and finish straight. But as it stands, World Cup. Just been commentating Moto E. I knew that would happen at some stage. Live Cup standings. Daniel Holgado leads by 1 point from David Alonso if they were to finish like this, but we know that won't necessarily be the case.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's going to be the case as the guys run it onto the green slightly there, coming down the back straight. But yeah, we saw this yesterday as well, Matt. A couple of the leaders had a little bit of a gap to the chasing pack, but as we can see now, the chasers were really quickly to bridge it, and David Alonso is going to be doing just that as we get a replay.
What is this we're seeing down the start and finish straight is, Mian and Munoz getting too close for comfort, a bit of elbow barging. Okay, I thought I was going to say race direction. Going to investigate that. I was going to say I should hope not. Let these boys race. Thank you very much. But there we are. So then, David Alonso maintains that 3rd place then for the moment. No sign of these groups splitting. Oh no, the number 9 has gone down. Yeah, it is Freddie Heinrich from the first ever winner of the Northern Talent Cup. He was 3rd overall last year in that one. Here's what happened to the number 9. Wow. Who was that? Incredibly lucky not to get sideswiped there. Turn 6, easily done, my friend. Many riders have already succumbed to that over the course of the race weekend as well. Is that 21? Demis Mihaila, who just very nearly got wiped out of the race. I don't think he would have known anything about that, would he? No, definitely not. And it's a crash we see so much across all classes, especially in the Moto 3 class. It's just a simple turn 6 front end tuck. Very easy to do, so hard luck. There you go then. Fastest lap of the race so far from Daniel Holgado. But if we look at the fastest lap of the race from yesterday, how does that compare? I think we're pretty much on pace, actually. But the all-time lap record still, as of yesterday, went to Carlos Tatai, the former champion here, 149.009. So we're getting on towards that pace at the moment. Prime conditions here with 25 degrees air temperature in Celsius, of course. This is crunch time now, Matt.
Holgado's got into his rhythm. Moreira in second place has got a little bit of a gap to bridge. It's 3/10, and then it's another 3/10 back to David Munoz, yesterday's race winner, as we see Daniel Munoz get a track limits warning. So he's just going to have to be careful in the final eight and third lap. There he is, the number 7. But yeah, like I was saying, it's really crunch time for Moreira and the Chaser pack a second, because Holgado's looking strong here, as he did in race 1 yesterday.
Yeah, he's almost doing what he tried to do yesterday, lead and pull away. But how easy is it going to be? He's got a couple of tenths in hand. 0.378 was the split as they came across the line. That's now up to 0.4 at the third split. This is the final corner then, so we'll keep an eye as they come over the line, whether Holgado has managed to actually extend that gap even more. But Diogo Moreira is certainly on the case, even though he's just had a track limits warning, so he's really pushing things here. But we'll have to keep an eye as they come down the back straight as well, because will the likes of Alonso and Munoz, or Millan in that chasing pack, manage to close down on them once again? We are starting to see a bit of a split at the halfway point in this race.
We are. There you go then, another fastest lap of the race for Holgado. I think the fastest lap yesterday was Uriarte. He did a 49.1, so we're pretty much on pace as yesterday, and it's in slightly hotter conditions, so it's going to be a little bit trickier for the riders out there, but they're pretty much perfect, to be honest. Not too hot, not too cold, and the wind isn't too bad. But yeah, Daniel Holgado really is in a rhythm now, and the leading two have now got a second lead over David Alonso in third place, so there's work to do for the chasers as we focus in on those.
Yeah, there really is. They did manage to close in a little bit, I should say, down the back straight, but perhaps not enough. Daniel Holgado, of course, managed to take a podium last time out in Portugal. He got a second place there in race 2. Fourth place yesterday, you'll remember, just missing out on a podium position. He has got previous wins as well. He took one last year at the second race in the first Valencia round. That would have been the European Grand Prix that the Red Bull MotoGP rookies were accompanying. And he's also very used to a fair few podiums in his time as well. There were 5 others for him last year in... 5 others? Yes, I have read that right. 5 others for him last year in the Rookies' Cup in 2020. So it could be a welcome return to the top step for Holgado, should he pull it off. But there's a long way to go yet.
Yeah, just looking at the back of his screens there, Noah Detweiler and Scott Ogden have just lost touch on the middle group, should we call them, led by now David Munoz, yesterday's race winner. Yeah, they just lost touch, but still having a very good race there in 9th and 10th for the Dutchman and the British guy.
Very importantly then, though, we've seen a 1:48. That is a new all-time lap record, is it not? Yes, it is. Wow. So that is the fastest lap ever from a Red Bull Rookies Cup rider here, according to my timesheets. Mentioned that time from Carlos Tato earlier. There it is then, confirmation. A new all-time lap record for David Munoz. So that's good news for him. In third place, leading these riders on the chase now, down to Diogo Moreira and Daniel Holgado in first and second spot. They've got plenty of time to do it. They were that time around then. He was nearly 4 tenths quicker than Holgado out front. So this is far from over, and that gap's coming down then between Moreira and Munoz. 0.778 at the halfway split.
Yeah, what David Alonso, Alex Mann and the other riders need to do now is stick with David Alonso as Diogo Moreira looks behind him and sees David Alonso. David Munoz, sorry. David Alonso's in 4th.
Well, he also sees David Alonso, so that's no problem. But yeah, they don't want to be keeping too much of an eye on what's going on behind them. I think Diogo Moreira needs to keep an eye on what the man ahead of him is doing there, because if he's actually not going quick enough for them and they're letting the other riders catch him, then perhaps he needs to make a move. He's certainly looking close enough to pull one off into turn 13 there. What will the Brazilian do this time around? The unmistakable helmet design, the blue, green and yellow of his home country there emblazoned aboard his lid. Now we come down into turn 13. No such move from the Brazilian this time around. And look at that, David Munoz visibly, incredibly quick. In fact, too quick into turn 13 there. I thought he was looking incredibly sideways. He just went a little bit wide. He would have lost a bit of time there. But what is the gap as they come across the line this time around? It is 0.758, just over 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, staying about where they were. That was tight on the edge of turn 1 between Daniel Munoz. Yeah, so the guys now, like I say, Matt, you've got to really try and not jostle each other about, because the gap although it's come down, it's not come down by much, and with 6 laps to go, these two are in a groove. Diogo Moreira's doing very well to bridge the 3/10 gap to the race leader, Daniel Holgado. And now it's all about if these guys can try and catch them or not.
Elliot, I can't believe you're implying, as we see Daniel Holgado go over track limits once again, needs to be careful. I can't believe you're implying that riders, motorcycle racers, tend to give in to temptation of making an overtake. Can't believe it. Look at that. That is drama right there. Race Direction has said Diogo Moreira has a long lap penalty. Well, that is proof then you cannot be taking the mickey with those exceeding track limits. Holgado needs to be very careful. He'll be getting a warning, I'm sure, for triggering the exceeding track limits a couple of corners ago now. But then, so Diogo Moreira's, he's going to be out of second spot. When will he get that notification? I'm sure it's popping up on his dash, that's for sure. But will he have seen it in time to come up this time around? This is why, well, that's just absolutely ridiculous. So that's playing no regard to the track limits whatsoever. He's made his own.
Yeah, you can have no arguments there. And I just saw on the timing screen that David Alonso and Alex Milan have also got track limits warning. So the guys in 4th and 5th also need to be very, very careful. So that time around, Moreira didn't, there you see it pop up on the timing screen, Moreira didn't use the long lap, but I'm sure he'll get the notification as soon as possible on his pit board and on his dashboard.
So he'll be lucky at this rate if he even slots onto the back of the chasing pack then, as David Alonso moves up to 3rd place once again, up the inside of David Munoz. What is the gap that time around then? So they're still 3/4 of a second, but ever so slightly coming down, adrift from the leading duo. But will it be enough with 5 laps to go?
Another track limits warning. It's for Mario Aggi in 6th place, so they're all getting it. Obviously, they're all really, really pushing.
I'm sure a few more went over it just then on the exit of turn 4. That seems to be a little bit of a hot spot. Could be a bit of drama from Race Direction coming in late on this one, because it just seems like if one's doing it and another spots it, I don't know. I mean, it's very, very difficult, but this is all part of the learning process. This is part of the reason why you've got to be learning in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, and I'm sure they will learn one way or another. They will learn the easy way or the hard way.
Aggi almost stuck in the front there at turn 6, but managing to stay on. There he is at the back of the lead group, so he's got to be careful, as have all of these riders now, because obviously, like you say, Matt, it's very easy to, when you're tucked right up behind the rider in front of you, to follow his line, and obviously if he goes onto the green, it's most likely you're going onto the green as well if you're not careful. So Moreira, is he going to take the long lap penalty this time around? Let's keep a close eye.
Do you know
that was your race leader.
He was going off track limits once again. I mean, this is it. Daniel Munoz has got a long lap penalty as well for exceeding track limits. I thought it was going to be David or Daniel Holgado. It's the Daniel and the Munoz there. It's confusing. But what about Moreira? Is he going to go into the long lap penalty? No, he's not. And Daniel Munoz, yes, as we mentioned, has a long lap penalty. That's a little graphic there to the right of your screen. Tells you that is on their dashboard. So the one for the number 60 and the 92. Who's number 60?
I'm not sure who number 60 is because he's not on the grid. So, not sure who that is.
Marco van der Mark? Is he here? Mikey, where are you? So, but never mind then. That's the Marshalls' issue and not ours. But we are keeping an eye on the Brazilian of Diogo Moreira. He has got to take that long lap penalty, but has he seen it crucially on his dash? Do you even get enough respite to even check your dashboard during these? That is the big question. But there you have it as well, though. David Munoz gets a track limits warning for that time around.
I'm just imagining a point where we come onto the last lap and all the riders have got to go for the long lap penalty at the final corner, Matt.
Yes, the final corner overtake in the long lap penalty. Could you believe it? I couldn't even get my words out. That's how enticing that prospect is. So we're on the run down towards turn 6 once again, and that gap has closed up significantly, Elliot. It has snuck in to a half a second gap between David Munoz, or now David Alonso, onto the leading duo, and it's going to come down even more because Diogo Moreira, whilst he moves up the inside, he's going to have to take that long lap penalty. He then moves out the way once again. Daniel Holgado reclaims the lead as they come towards turn 9.
Yeah, Moreira trying desperately at turn 8 to try and get up the inside of the race leader. I wonder if the race leader knows or saw the pit boards. The marshals are holding out whether the rider right behind him has got that long lap penalty. We don't know, of course, but here we come then, round turn 10. turn 11, sorry, round turn 12 and into the final corner. This is where the long lap penalty lane is.
Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Diogo Moreira, he does. He's seen it. He's going in the long lap penalty, as is. Who was that who also has to take it? Daniel Munoz, the number 7. So he slots onto the back of this one. I think that could well be race win done for Diogo Moreira. What a shame that is.
Another one. Alex Milan has got a long lap penalty.
Oh my goodness me, they're all going to have to go through it. This is crazy. Chaps, you're going to need to watch this back and also concentrate a little bit more. Come on, fellas. This is, you're throwing away potential podiums here. Alex Milan then will be going through that. There's only 3 laps to go. Can they catch Daniel Holgado on the run down towards turn 6 once again? David Alonso on the chase now. He was 6/10 slower than him last time around as they came across the finish line. But what about this first split? It's under half a second. The chase is on.
I'm pretty sure the number 64 of David Munoz was again exceeding track limits there. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the timing screen to see if that pops up. But yes, David Alonso is closing the gap. It's just over half a second as we come down into the Dani Pedrosa corner.
It's not even that, it's 0.360 seconds. He has been caught, you could probably say, Daniel Holgado. So this is going to go all the way to the wire. Will he claim his second victory in the Rookies Cup over the last season or so? Well, he could well do, but it is far from guaranteed. Depends, of course, if anybody else gets a long lap penalty. We've got track limits warning for Rosenhaler. That was the Austrian who crashed out yesterday, but he is not in this leading group. Where is he? Down in 18th position at the moment. So then 3 laps to go. This is the final sector once again, and we'll be tipping through turn 11 first, 12, and then breaking it down into turn 13. The number 23 there, Alex Mian, he has to take a long lap penalty. Will he have seen it in time and do it this time around? No, because he's not going to get to it from the inside line like that, and he has to try it next time around. That's tight.
Yeah, not that time around. He chose to overtake 2 riders instead, but there it is, clear as day. Number 23, there he is. Alex Milan has to take a long lap penalty, and there's only 2 laps to go. So he's going to have to do it this lap or on the last lap. It's his choice. Well,
he's in second place at the moment as they break it down into turn 1. What about turn 2? Will anybody try to claim it back? Well, if his competitors have seen that and think, do you know what, I'm just going to stick behind him and not bother even overtaking, because he's going to be out my way come the end of this very lap. Another shout out though to Patelli, the 28. He's quietly waiting there, perhaps ready to pick up the pieces. And Moreira, he's possibly on the back of this group as well.
Yeah, this is huge for the championship. Well, it's only showing second, third, but David Alonso, as things stand, will continue to lead the championship. But I think in the next couple of laps we're going to see plenty more drama.
Yeah, absolutely. Penultimate lap it is. 1.5 laps to go. David Munoz moving up the inside of Alex Mian at turn 6 then. They well and truly caught Daniel Holgado there. And look at that then. Munoz, a long lap penalty for the 64. He's just claimed 3rd place. This is, well, it's getting on ridiculous. Fellas, keep in the track limits, I beg of you, for your own sakes. I like the entertainment, but this is for your own good.
If it weren't for the long lap penalty, we'd have an absolute corker of a last lap on hands, because they're all together now.
I think we still are, Elliot.
Well, we definitely are, but in 6th place is Diogo Moreira.
Elliot, Alonso's got a long lap penalty as well. They're going to have to do it on the final lap. This is just insane. I can't cope. This is coming up on our timing screens. You guys can't see it at home yet. Well,
Milan.
He's going for it. He might still win this. You never know.
Absolutely.
It's 1 lap to go. They're going to come across the start and finish line. This is it then, the final lap of race 4 of 2021 in the Red Bull Rookies. I just absolutely love this. I almost don't want it to end, but I think my voice does.
Moreira, fastest lap of the race, and with the long lap penalties, he's going to be on the podium, you'd think.
He actually is, isn't he? He's in 4th position at the moment, so he could have timed it to perfection. I suppose he could have worked his way around the rules that time, right? But there you go, then, confirmation. David Alonso, long lap penalty. It caught Elliot out. He's in 2nd place at the moment, but he's not going to keep it. What about Holgado? He's still in 1st place. No long lap penalty for him so far as we can see on our timing screens. Half a lap to go round the Sito Pons corner. What about the slipstream then, Elliot?
Well, I was only joking when I said we'd want them all to go into the long lap penalty on the last corner of the last lap, but it's going to happen.
Take it seriously. Oh, Moreira, he's moving the other side inside from 4th to 1st and then back again, but it won't matter matter, young man. You could still get a podium here with the long lap penalties that are about to happen. We're entering the stadium section, Elliot, with Alonso in the lead.
Yeah, so we're going to go round turn 8.
Oh,
that
I
was
swear
close.
he bumped him.
Does Holgado know that Alonso's got a long lap penalty? Maybe
Possibly not. It
Maybe
probably
not.
wasn't on the boards that time around. They're at turn 9 now. Is he going to dive for a move? No. Is anybody else? We can't see. We're looking on board. That would have been a spectacular shot. This is then the final sector. 3 more corners to go. 1 extra long one for David Alonso. He's in first place. David Alonso from Holgado, from Munoz, from Moreira. Hasn't Munoz still got to take the long lap penalty as well?
And
he
David
has.
Alonso.
They both have to do it. Moreira, what's he going to do? Oh my goodness, they're not taking
not done it.
They're
They've
not
not done
done it.
it.
Oh, it's going to be drama as they come across the line as well. There's going to be interference from race direction. Once a checkered flag has fallen,
Contact.
it's waving. It's neck and neck. I can't believe it. Holgado, he's
Contact
going to
again.
win. But is he? He is going to win. He's crossed the line first. But what are the results going to be?
Moreira second.
Wow.